So I'll never forget the day my dad asked me to go outside and wait for him while he talked to my two older sisters. And after what seemed like an eternity, he stepped down the 2 back steps and onto our patio where I'd been shooting hoops and patiently waiting. But I remember the first thing I noticed as he came into our backyard was a crate full of his stuff that he sat down on our picnic bench. Then he called me over and he proceeded to tell me that he was moving out, that he and my mom weren't doing well. And so he held me as we both sobbed. And then at some point he picked up his crate, opened the back chain link fence and walked away. That was the last day my family was all together. And every kid that has experienced a moment like this knows it leaves your life feeling totally upside down. Nothing feels right. It's almost like you're forced to live now this alternative reality that you didn't ask for. It's my life's first real deep wound. And I tell you all that because I felt lost. I felt alone. I felt like I needed to talk to someone, but I didn't know who I could talk to. Then enters Josh. Josh had been one of my best friends since first grade. And one day Josh asked me if I wanted to go to his youth group. It was a simple and yet life-changing invitation, one that would completely change the trajectory of my life. I showed up to the gym at his church, played basketball, watched some outrageous upfront game, heard a short talk about Jesus, and then I went home. But truth be told, I never really left. That youth group would become like home for me. I faithfully attended every week from 6th grade all the way through my senior year of high school. And it's the place where I found my church family. And so back to the first question, what is Cornerstone Youth Ministry all about? What is this continuum? Well, step 1 is we invite students into a loving community. How did you two take me back? And let's go with you, Tankalevsky. How did you guys become friends? What's the story on that one?
The story is we don't know.
Really?
really we can't remember like when marked our friendship, but it was somewhere around sophomore, junior year of high school. We went to the same middle and the same high school. Like, I don't even know how we connected being friends. Yeah. But I think our social circles kind of intermixed. And so some people shifted and Joy and I got a little closer. But yeah, we met in high school being dweebs together.
We were talking about this, but I think we were driving home from something.
Tuesdays.
I think it was Tuesdays at that point. And we just had the most amazing conversation. And I think that just like sparked her and I's like deep friendship. With that whole friend group, we like all went to Tuesdays. Like I was like, let's all go. Just inviting everybody I possibly could to Tuesdays.
Why did you do that?
I loved like any sort of youth group where you could just, essentially for me at that point, it was just you get to hang out with your friends. Like you get to spend some quality time with them, get to play those awesome games, you get to go to camps. Yeah, and I just grew up going to them and I loved it and I always like to share things that I love.
Joy actually had to ask me multiple times. First you had like invited me to a California, I think 2 Californias, and I was like, no, like 1, I hate the beach, 2, I'm not gonna go to the beach with you and people I don't know. Like that sounds horrible. I grew up in Temple the first 5 years of my life with my dad, and then we left the Temple and my mom's Christian, so she invited me to church. So I had a childhood church growing up, and the student ministry there was not good. So by the time I got into middle school and high school, I wasn't enjoying myself. I thought Christians were like really lame and judgmental because that's how I experienced them to be. And so I quit church altogether. I was like, this is not for me. Like I believe in God, but like, I don't need to go to church. And so then Joy was like, come to these events, come to these events, come to these events. They're with my church. And I was like, dude, church is no bueno. You were so patient about it. You were like, come if you want, I don't care. Like, but you should come because it's fun. And so like, I think you didn't put much pressure on it, but always extended the invite. So I came to a Tuesdays or I came to a BOCO and I was like, whoa, like these are not the crowd of people I thought was gonna be at church.
And since you were the one invited in, what would you say, like, how has youth ministry impacted your life? Like imagine not getting that invitation.
It'd be really sad if that were the case.
Why?
I would be in a totally different situation had I not come to Cornerstone Youth Ministry. Like, through the kindness and grace of the Holy Spirit, through Joy and through Gabe and my leaders, like, I learned how to be a more forgiving human, compassionate human, patient human, non-judgmental human. Like, had I not come to Cornerstone and got rooted here, like, I would not have the job I currently have in children's ministry. I would not be living in the house that I currently live in, like establishing myself as an adult now. I really, really, truly credit like the human I am today is because of you, solely. The human I am today is because you chose to love me in the manner that you did. So thanks, buddy.
You can hug her.
Yay!
Why would you say the invitation is important, whether it's the person doing the inviting or the one being invited in?
That's when it becomes like personal. That's like the relationships that are then forming is you are getting invited into something awesome, like fun, and just like, I think something about being invited into that is just like, I don't think you can beat it. Like you're gonna go through a bunch of super hard things, and then you're gonna have some super awesome things to celebrate. And to have somebody continue to invite you to share those, that just cultivates something beautiful.
Every student service, every game, every event, every camp, every retreat, it's all about a giant open door. It's about an invitation into a home. It's the welcome. It's this is your place, come inside, come sit at the table, come be a part of this family, in hopes that the students will experience and come to know part 2 on the Continuum.